Today is May 21st, 2026. Uh, Yesterday, um, I had a lot going on. Had several errands to run. Okay. I had, got my hair done and then, went up to Ravenna and bought something off Facebook Marketplace. Okay. And I'm like going through everything again with poor Carl in the car having to listen to me ramble so these people can hear. We go to stop and use the bathroom down on 62 and Canton on the way home. Of course, off in the distance in the restaurant, some ass is saying something. You know, they can keep their fucking bullshit to themselves. Just keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to hear it. See, these people now, we're going to put it this way. This is how retarded they are. I'm really retarded. And I can't believe one person will listen to the bullshit. They said because Dave hired an attorney on his own and he let him go in and set up the button camera stalking her. He said they could drug her for fake confessions, have her being raped, and all that other stuff, Photoshop and frame, because Dave gave him permission to harm her. It's okay. No, it's not. Okay. Right on Google. What is a jail sentence for the attorney if a husband hires them to set up button in a private home and the wife doesn't know it? Stalking the wife, because it's considered stalking. See, you can't be hired to be a stalker. I don't care who you are. Let alone a rapist and a drug dealer. Oh, we're talking like 10 to 20 years. They can't set up button cameras in a private home. They can never be involved. He can't hire an attorney. He can't hire anybody to be in my home. See, that's how dumb these people are. Well, Dave said they could do it. See, people up in Akron, they said as an occult, they didn't think that her being a woman, she had any rights, and they could do whatever they wanted to, and they couldn't be stopped because they're an occult. And they thought as a woman, they could have her drugged, beaten, raped, photoshopped and framed, drugged and told to say stuff, publicly humiliated, murdered, because she had no rights because she was a woman. Well, we live in the United States, and I have as many rights as a man, and no one can be in my home. See, that's where I talked to Officer Reinhardt Louisville. Even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home outside a protected custody case with statements from everyone in that home that they had known of the threat of life of that person. They had to have a court order too. Fourth Amendment. And it's police and agencies only. You can't hire someone to stalk someone. No matter who it is, let alone drug them for fake confessions, Photoshop and frame them. Have them being raped under drugs, human trafficking. You can't do any of that. Are these people crazy? See what I mean? Okay, you know how I told you how that agent told Apostolic Church of Barberton that I called the FBI. He was telling them he didn't care I was being drugged, being raped before the case started. He even told him he was going to turn me back over to him. Wasn't going to help me. He was going to defraud me the whole time. Next day on a recorded line, he admits to talking to him, knows they're trying to kill me, laughing at me. I think it's funny. Bullying me, threatening to put me in jail if I don't say stuff. Say you're lying, I'll arrest you. Say you're lying, I'll put you in jail. Now he had all those people in his office they already knew, made fun of me for this guy Pete, some crazed, dirty doctor never heard of. He sounded insane. And then maybe big for my life, list me informant with money and immunity. Then threaten me if I told. Okay? It is a federal crime of 20 to life for an FBI agent to tell an informant if they say anything, they will not get their money from the case. It's blackmail, extortion, tampering with a witness, and tampering with evidence. It is a 20-year sentence for an FBI agent to tell the informant if they say anything that the FBI won't help them, or tell anybody that not to help them. You can go into attempted murder charges. Tampering with a witness, obstruction to justice, severe abuse of authority. No judge could sign it. They're federal crimes. Like Walter said, it's for working the case and only for working the case and risking your life to get the government information. That agent doesn't have the authority. He's just a hired police officer. And only a judge in a jury trial can put a gag order on you. And a police officer can't do any of that. He's only a hired police officer. No judge could sign it. The judge would be signing his own arrest warrant. He cannot withhold your money. He cannot misdirect it. He can't tell people they can't help you. These are all legal. They're federal crimes. Federal. Can't do any of this. And then he left me there and took my money. Well, they got surveillance. See, that's where they're trying to get the case thrown out because they're getting him for defrauding me. She's either a paid informant and they stand up for the case, or we want the surveillance thrown out, because the only thing they wanted was that surveillance. He's got all those drug dealers off of it for a threat and attempt to lie case with statements. The next day, after I had spoke to that agent, I had went down to Walmart 62. There's officers down there. And some in plainclothes and other ones with uniforms talking to each other. The guy they called Officer Mark, late 50s, heavyset, white with white hair, came in. I just got back from talking to Dave about the threats of her life, on the threats on her life. I thought, why would you talk to him? There was an agent at that church the night before. Either he didn't know what that agent did, or he had to have an official statement for the case. Because, like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville said, even the FBI go to jail for being in your home. It's a felony invasion of privacy. Cyber stalking, wiretapping, illegal monitoring, voyeurism. Can keep going more without the drug confessions and everything else. Have me being raped and human trafficked under drugs? My God. Okay. So, that's where he either knew what that agent did and he needed it for the case. See, they had to go take it to a court order, or the FBI couldn't be in there. Like Officer Reinhardt in Louisville said, that agent had to have statements of threat of life from everyone that lived in that home, and agree to protect you, or even they would go to jail, and it's illegal to look and listen. Get the idea? Get the idea? Nobody could be in my home. And April 16th, 23, I heard Danny across the parking lot where I had been asking him questions about everything. He didn't know anything. I heard him tell Gabe across the parking lot. I finally went to Dad. I asked him what on earth is going on. He said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in her home. Pete has a frame. Pete has her tape the filthy, dirty statement. And when she called for help, some agent showed up at that church, and he talked to him when she walked off. See, I've never met Agent John in person. Only talked to him on the phone. But Dave admitted to talking to him in person, to Dad, before I was an informant. And I've never met that Pete, and I never talked to him. That's the drugs and told to say it before. I've never met him. These people admitted last year they were hiding behind doors, and as I walked by, they stabbed me with hypnotic drugs. And where you thought you got bit or stung, you don't think to look for somebody because no one's supposed to be in your private home. Go out and think you got bit or stung. It's like, ow, and you look back and there's nobody there, so you just didn't think to check rooms. Go in and sit down, and the room goes dizzy and black. And you think you're dying from the dirty well water you're showering. You got bruises, throwing up, severely infected. Hey, you've been drug beat and raped in your own home. Everybody's been talking, they all know it's that Henry Maffei framing Judge Ludick, where he confessed January 1926 that he was had a judge's friend that would enter all the tapes in court without her or the FBI, have the case's money signed over to him, and he'll be long gone, and pull a fast one on the FBI and steal all the case's money for himself. What did they say in the beginning of the case? There was a retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crimes. The judge's friend. It's him. He even admitted he never met me in person that day. That's where officers were dying laughing. We told you she don't know what's going on. The guy admitted he never met her in person. And he's the one inciting Carl's family to threaten his life. Okay, right on Google. No judge could sign a court order for an opposing attorney to pull your medical records. The judge would even go to jail. No opposing attorney can ever have your medical records. Last week in Myers, in Alliance, they said it wasn't an attorney. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own, just saying he was an attorney. They have a lot of that. It's all a big fraud scheme, like my friend Walter said that used to work at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office. It's a big fraud scheme. The whole thing is a fraud scheme, Karen. They made the biggest mistake. They did it in your home. It's a right of privacy. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements in a court order. There's nothing else. That's what Officer Reinhardt Louisville said. That's what Sheriff David Mike DeWine's cousin said. That is what a criminal attorney said. Looked it up, it is. Nobody could be in my home. That's where the Massillon police in October and November 21, they were looking for Steve and Eric stalking me. And they were laughing that nothing they have is admissible. See, they can't have my medical records, so they're to be arrested if they say they have them. It's under the Act of Privacy. No judge could sign a court order for them to pull it. They can't even say they know anything. It's a federal crime. This whole thing is hawking bullshit. It is. The whole thing is just, it's a big fraud scheme. And I'll tell you what, March 30th, 25, outside my old apartment on Louisville, the guy that moved in my old apartment after I moved in with Carl, was bragging to Amy and Harry that how he was in that office when they met with that agent. And when he asked her who that doctor from before was, she said she didn't know who he is. Now that Michelle already confessed to an FBI agent March 27th, 25, that it's not my doctor. She actually does know who he is. They lied he wasn't my doctor. Okay? They were trying to pull the scam down there then. And that when he asked her who it was, he knew she was lying. I thought, I'm not the one who was lying. You were. And he said he turned her back over to us. It's also a federal crime for an agent to turn you back over to the drug dealers or people harming you. Going to attempt murder. See, and but he admitted he was part of that fraud scheme. Well, like the next day, we went to Golden Corral. I'm an FBI informant. You know all that cool shit they have when they show FBI stuff? Like your phone's tapped, they listen to your phone, car speakers. FBI informant. I got all the cool shit around me. Investigators said how they listened to the car through the car speakers and heard that idiot say all that stuff. How he's part of it. October 1st, 2024. October 1st, 2024. I was bit by a dog. I was returning a client's glasses. After work, I realized I had them in my scrubs. And Carl and I were going to go out to eat. I told him to wait in the car and I'd just go out and put him on her doorstep. And she's standing at the door and she let her big dog out and it bit the hell out of me. Oh my God, it kept going for my face. It bit up my arm, it bit up my stomach before she finally got it off me. Okay? And some investigators had showed up where these people were bragging they were going to steal my dog bite money. Those people won't touch that dog bite money. We could hear her scream through the car speaker. She got back in, you see pictures of bites all over her. My car's booked if I'm in it or not. March 24th, 22, 1:30. 3 parking lots away, some little white guy was screaming at this big drug dealer. You have framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. He's got his finger up at this big drug dealer. And he said, I know, I feel bad about everything. They even raped her. You should. And he's screaming at him. Admitted they had that taped. Got it? So, a couple days ago, when Carl and I went for a walk, a couple apartments down there, little kids out there playing. What were they saying? Judge Peters' group taped her before so no one can help her. How do you know about Judge Peters? Judge Peters is a human trafficker from Florida. His people showed up at Faith Family Church in February 2019 with Dave's girlfriend at the time, Michelle. Mind everybody, she's retired Judge Pete's friend with Ludic, letting him get away with crime, and she was above the law. The law couldn't stop him. And there was no retired Judge Pete. And they weren't friends with Ludic, she was lying. But those other people said they were from Florida. They worked for Judge Peters. And in the mall, they worked for Judge Peters, and they're drug traders and human traffickers relocating people to Florida to a resort area. Judge Peters and 100 men down there were arrested for human trafficking people. And the resort area was Disney, where the Texas group was here for, we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. David hired us. He's a drug lord. He's a fentanyl king. You look him up. The Middle Eastern men, the lady in hijabs, he's a fentanyl dealer. And there's what Judge Peters' arrest. There was a pipeline between Florida and Texas. They were selling people. They were up here in Ohio, scavenging for people. And they thought they could run a con on the FBI and steal money from them. That Henry Mafia, that Dave's girlfriend's dad. If you put the different tapes together of September 30th, 25 and January 19th, 26, they're father and daughter. And then if you go right for the case started where Anita and Pam were talking about Mary's niece, Michelle, was willing to kill someone just to date Dave. Dave was excited and never had anybody willing to kill someone. That poor family that's in debt needs Dave's help. It's just Mary's family. Remember, they lied. They were important. But they were in debt to drug dealers. Drug dealers showed up to help run the con. And a lot of people died. A lot. And a lot were taken and sold. Get the idea? So, those people down the street. Now, does the police have to interview them? No, they got their confession from my car speaker. Then Carl and I, it was like 82, 83 degrees. We went to go for a short walk. His sugar was high. I needed a distress, and it was a little too warm, so we turned around and came back. But that girl, she was out there. She's like, I want your friends. You see her out, yell stuff at her. We're trying to steal everything back for their family. Her going for a walk and it's 80 degrees should be considered attempted murder. Oh, bite me. He was out baling hay in 80 degrees last year. Doesn't hurt to go for a short walk. Get the idea? It's not attempted murder. You're just a crackpot. They were down here recruiting people. Kids going up the street. Some lady had showed up and asked us to yell stuff at her. And our mom said, we better not yell stuff at her. Everybody needs to turn these people in. So those kids, little kids, a couple apartments down, their mom better be calling the FBI and police. Because George Peters' group may be scoping out those little kids to sell. And one day they'll just be gone. And those teenagers, they're down here. I heard people in Ravenna, we all found out they're recruiting people in where she lives now. Yeah, they were recruiting them in 18 and 19 to join them. You know what happens? You end up with your face on a poster. You don't actually join them, they sell you. Body parts, or they sell you for some idiot to hunt you down and kill you, or they sell you for a sex slave. There's serial killers that are doing this, and human traffickers. They're child molesters that sell women and children for sex slaves and to be murdered, and for body parts. They break that one too. They caught a Texas guy trying to buy a baby for its parts. It was on Google. He's arrested. Well, the body part thing, besides that, me and Matt were talking. I said, they don't want you to have... Well, actually, they did break it this last year. The original cartel, they didn't want her to smoke because they wanted to sell her for body parts. And she started smoking. They couldn't sell her. A bad habit actually saved my life. Because I was talking to Matt, I said, why would they not want me to have a bad habit if they're trying to sell me for a sex slave or to be murdered? I said, the only thing that makes your organs not pliable. He said, the black market organ is $1 billion industry. Well, see, that's where they break this year. Original cartel was trying to sell her for body parts. Well, put it this way, nothing good inside, all ruined. Don't waste your money. I am going to go ahead and get off here, but someone get a hold of Officer Mark, Officer John. Does the FBI know their agent cannot bully somebody into saying it? Say if you say anything, you won't get your informant money. That is a federal crime of blackmail, tampering with a witness, and obstruction to justice, and extortion out of government funds. Yes. That you only get paid for risking your life and risking your life to get them information. Yes. Did they already know they were already illegally monitoring me and knew everything? Yes. Did they know they were framing me? Yes. They told them they were drugging me to get the truth out of me, where they were drugging me and telling me to say stuff. Did they know it was a shower seat in the other room? Investigators said they always knew it was photoshopped or washing in the shower. They never fooled them once, and they already knew that it wasn't my doctor. That none of my doctors could be with them. They knew the whole thing was a scam. You weren't fooling the cops. Let's see. Does the FBI and police know that agent can't tell me if I say something? That no one can help me? That it's attempted murder? Severe abuse of authority? Does he know that? Do they know that? And is tampering with a witness and obstruction to justice and the arrest that agent? Yes. Does the FBI know that? Yes. That's how wrong and evil everything happened to me. I'm going to upload this.